One of the main things highlighted regarding the hypocrites is words. Because there's a lot of talk, but there's a lot of talking, but there isn't much walking. Right? We ask Allah to protect us and forgive us. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. So in the next ayah, Allah mentions that the hypocrites, they're going to talk, once again as usual. The very first ayah describing the hypocrites in the Quran, when you read it from beginning to end, is in Surah Baqarah, the 8th ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ. And from among people, there are people who talk. They say, يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. The very first thing the very first description of the hypocrites in the Quran, when you read it from start to finish, is that, from among people there are those who they say, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ. They say they believe in Allah. They say they believe in the final day, in the day of judgment. But Allah very clearly says that they don't believe. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. So they're talking and they're saying one thing, they're presenting one image, but Allah is saying the reality regarding these people, although the front, it looks good. Right? It's solid. In Surah Tawbah, Allah says, لا تعلمهم نحن نعلمهم. Allah tells the Prophet ﷺ that there are hypocrites in Medina. You don't even know who they are, but I know who they are. And basically they're in trouble with me when the time comes. It's a very, very harsh ayah in Surah Tawbah regarding them. And the reason why I brought that up is because on the outside, there's a certain image that's presented. They blended in with the best generation. The Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, radiallahu anhum wa radu an, as Allah describes them over and over in the Quran, right? They blended in with them extremely well, to the point that Allah tells the Prophet that you cannot even identify who they are, but I know who they are. So on the outside, they imitated the best generation. As the Prophet said, the best generation, right, is my generation. خَيْرُ الْقُرُونِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. Right, the best generation is basically my generation. So these hypocrites in Medina, who interacted with the Prophet ﷺ on a consistent basis, they blended in with the best generation outwardly, but inwardly, Allah says, إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ وَلَنْ تَجْدَ لَهُمْ نَصِيرًا. May Allah protect us and forgive us. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. On the outside, they imitated, radiallahu anhum wa radu an. But the reality of their inward condition, their internal condition, Allah describes them as saying that they will be in the lowest depths of hellfire. May Allah protect us and forgive us. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. So I want to highlight this because on the outside, yes, there's a time and a place, right? There is some importance given to the outside within the Islamic tradition, but by far and large, there is no question about it. The most important thing that the Prophet taught us to value and to prioritize is the heart, is the inside. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "At-taqwa hahuna," and he mentioned it 3 times, pointing to his heart, pointing to his heart, pointing to his heart. He didn't mention, now again, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, the outward appearance, the external, sure, that has its time and its place, in the tradition. There's no question about that. But it's not nearly as important as the inside. It's not nearly as important as a person's taqwa. It's not nearly as important as the actual condition of a person's heart. May Allah purify our hearts. Ameen Rabbil Alameen.